If you're going for someone who's only with you because you dress modestly, he clearly doesn't see you for who you really are. Okay. But back to what we do to ourselves as women, we shut off the parts of ourselves that could be too sparkly, that could draw attention, that might make him feel any form of discomfort. Because we feel, I want to secure the relationship. I want him to know I'm not talking to anyone else. So I'm going to dress the part. And again, there's beauty in dressing modestly. I come from the Middle East. I grew up family members wearing hijab. There's beauty in that, but it has to come from you. If you have all of a sudden changed your style because you've entered into a relationship, or you think that this guy is more likely to invest in you if you cover yourself up, but that's not how you were before, you're changing. You're changing right now. And it's important to note that. So then what often happens is we start to cut off the parts of ourselves that might draw any form of attention, and we start to lose ourselves. We start to become little shadows of who we used to be. And we lose that spark. In fact, we lose the very spark that drew him to us. And I see this happen in long-term relationships. You know, the girl was like super amazing, shining her light, enters into a relationship, and is like slowly over time, she's just prioritizing him. And that's just the beginning, but there's also the energetic prioritization that we do in relationships of waking up. How does he feel today? Oh, he's in a bad mood. Did I do something wrong? Are you okay? Are you mad at me? Are we good? How much of that takes up your mental space when you're in a relationship? I remember if my ex woke up and he felt distant from me, the whole day I'm thinking, what did I do? Like, did I do something wrong? Is he mad at me? Because I would ask him and he's like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But in a way that it wasn't fine, and kind of implying like you did something. So I'm in my head, what did I do? I couldn't be okay unless he was okay. And again, especially those of us who are empathic, we really feel people's energy, especially if we're living with the person. So then my whole day is going to, is he okay? And then he'd come out of his office and he would just be okay because it had nothing to do with me. Or it had to do with his own shame and his own secrets and his own things that he was up to. And then here I went, giving my whole day to making sure that he's good and he's okay. And I can't be okay unless he's okay. And then all of a sudden his mood shifted. Did he at all acclimatize to me? No. This is what we do as women. We give up our full selves to the partner, and in this case, to the man. And men don't do the same thing for us. Like, do you think that guys sit around on their phones, most men, wondering if you're going to text them back? Do you think that they can't enjoy the accomplishments of their lives because they're not sure if you like them? Do you think they're like at the biggest thing of their careers? They're hosting a massive event, hundreds of people, and they're like, is this girl into me or not? I can't even focus. Is she into me or not? Hell no. Hell no, they are not. Because a man's biology, and let's look at them and their sociology, is like a man's biology naturally is they're hunters. They're very goal-oriented. They're focused on one thing at a time. Again, I'm not just saying this. This is actually based in the neuroscience, and you can look up. There's tons of research around the male brain, the female brain. I'll let you go at that. And I'm also sharing this from just personal experience as well. Men actually are way better at being present than women. And they focus much more on their purposes than women do. Naturally, women, we are more relational beings, and men are a little bit more goal-driven beings. There's a natural propensity towards that. But then there's also the conditioning element. There's also that men, from the time they were little boys, were trained, go after your dreams, play the sports, do the thing, be the best, go out there, be loud, be bold, take up space. They're trained to be all those things. Again, they have their own shadows and conditionings. They're told not to be emotional, which really hurts them. Patriarchy hurts both men and women. But the taking up space thing, like you never hear a man like, I don't know, I think I'm too much. I think I'm just too successful, and that's why no woman wants to date me. I'm just too conscious. I'm just really living my dreams and it intimidates most women. I've never once heard a man say that. Why is it that the more successful a man gets, the bigger his pool seems to become? Whereas for a woman, the more successful we get, the smaller our pool seems to become. Why is that? Again, it's because of this. The conditioning is real. It does exist. There is this natural propensity that women want to date and marry up and men want to date and marry equal to down and women's equal to up. And what that means is a woman wants to align herself and partner with someone who she feels is smarter than her, more successful than her, doing bigger things in the world than she is, right? So we want someone who's like better than us. Men tend, again, biological and conditioning, want someone who's tend to not as successful as them, not as successful maybe in the same thing that they're doing. So until we address this conditioning and what we're even considering success, we're going to keep finding ourselves in these loops. So for women, and I've had this experience myself and a lot of my friends who we are not just successful like externally, but like internally, it does feel harder to date. Like it does feel like, damn, it was way easier when I had less going on because there were a lot of men that were better at things than I was, And then when you become really, really great, it's like the pool is smaller. We can't deny that. I would be lying to you if I'm like, there are infinite numbers of men you can be with when you are a conscious, empowered, sensual, heart-opened, woman. No, there aren't. There aren't. And it does become easier for men because we're trying to look up to someone and they're kind of trying to not look down, but men tend to want to feel further ahead. So wherever they are, there's obviously just going to be more people who have not gotten to where they are than for a successful woman who's gone somewhere that she hasn't gone. Does that make sense? And I know you know what I mean if you're like a single woman listening to this podcast. So I want to address that elephant in the room because until we address that is a real thing, but then what we do is we say, so then let me cut myself off from all of it. So let me cut myself off from my beauty and my success because I don't want to be too intimidating because I want to find a man. And then we little mermaid ourselves, of damn, it feels like I have to choose between my purpose and love. And I really, really want love. So I guess my purpose has to go away.